You, whatever you're doing, you better stop it right now and actually pay attention to this, because I'm the Immortal Shadow, and welcome to the JGL. Oh,
That was pretty good. I like that.
you better stop whatever you're doing right now and actually pay attention, because I'm the Immortal Shadow, and welcome to the JLGS, the Just Listen Gaming Show. I'm the Immortal Shadow. You can follow me on whatever I'm doing and go watch my playthrough of The Walking Dead. And I'm going to hand it over to our other members.
What's up? I'm Chubby Boy J-Bug. You can follow me on all of my socials. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all those big places. I will be live streaming Spider-Man when it comes out in about 10 days, so you'll be on the lookout for that.
I am ThaGeraldV, 5 if you're up to date on your Roman numerals. You'll hear me called Gary, that's my real name, but I'm not really worried about social or anything like that. I don't stream, I don't have anything going on, so...
What about your TikTok?
Yeah, I guess I do have a TikTok, but I'm going to be honest, I'm too lazy to go over there and look at what my actual name is, so I'm just going to hand it over to Steve.
My name's Steven. Don't talk to me ever on any social media. If you find me, ignore it.
Well, alrighty then.
Alright, we're going to start with what's everyone's favorite video game. Personally, my favorite video game is Dishonored, much to Gary's dismay.
I'm not going to argue that it's not a good game. It's just not for me. Different strokes, you know?
You fair.
I gotta think that my favorite video game of all time is gonna sound
really
cheesy.
It's gonna be 2K.
No, it's not 2K. No, it's NCAA Football 2014. You know, the very last NCAA football game that we got.
Good choice.
You know, just all the different customization options, all the different option plays that they put into that game, just the amount of pristine video game quality that game brought. We haven't seen anything like it, so definitely NCAA 2014, the football game, my favorite.
My favorite game, personally, has to be Ghost Recon Wildlands, because at the time, I was just playing single-player games. I never played anything remotely multiplayer, and it was something new for me. It was kind of free-form. You get to pick wherever you go, pretty much, and whatever you do, you complete the missions at your own pace, and it's just kind of relaxing and tactical at the same time, and it just makes you think. And even with Breakpoint, I don't think anything has come to what I felt playing that game the first time, because it's just, the map on an Xbox One originally was just, it blew my mind. Even playing Just Cause and stuff like that, it was just a lot. But yeah,
Respectable choice.
How clean we keeping this?
What is your favorite game, Steve?
Well, I was on this website one time, and
No.
let's just say they offered me a specific challenge.
No.
Here we go. I'm out.
we're not going down that rabbit hole.
Come on, Steven. I'm surprised you're not saying it like Dark Souls or something.
I do like a good Dark Souls game.
Even though you
But-
almost break controllers at it.
Yeah, but who doesn't, you know?
You know what? I did body slam a chair because of
Oh.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, you know what? I've never caused myself physical injuries, so I guess it could be worse. You know what?
Or
It's easily
bedroom furniture.
the old Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Ooh.
That's a good choice.
I got that one on the PC.
Easily. So good. That game really buttered my biscuits.
Alright, on to the next
Steve
part.
definitely going with the way back pick there, but we'll take it.
True. Alright, what all consoles do we play on? Personally, I play on, let's say I play the PS5. I have a computer, Oculus Quest. You name it, I got it.
I'm kind of the same thing. I play video games on my PlayStation 5 primarily, but I do have an Oculus. I got it for Christmas. Don't really use it a whole lot. I don't know. It's just don't really feel like I have time to use it. And with a new baby, it's kind of hard for me to find a place to do it where it's safe anyways. So I don't know. It's just kind of sitting on my shelf. I might sell it if anyone wants to buy it, to be honest. But I also play on my cell phone quite a bit. You know, I grind Among Us. Just
Yeah, you do.
yeah. It's so much fun just talking to 12-year-olds and telling them what's up. That's my favorite.
My esports leagues better watch out.
So, yeah. I play primarily on PS5. I
Same.
do have an Oculus that I play on occasionally, mostly just for golf. Plus, I'm kind of a big golf guy. I mean, I suck at golf, but here I am. Anyway, I used to play on Xbox. It wasn't anything hardware-wise. I switched over to PlayStation just to play with the boys. And honestly, I don't think it matters what you're playing on, just who you're playing with and what you're getting out of the experience.
True.
Steve, what about you?
Ooh, you know what? You know what I've been doing lately? I've just been taking a lot of Benadryl and playing on an Etch-a-Sketch, and it's really good.
Okay.
Come on, Steve. What have you actually been playing?
I just have the PlayStation, but
Should have a PC soon.
really, it's whatever I should. I'm trying,
Mhm.
but it's whatever the boys have. The boys are the real console.
That's fair.
The real console is the boys we made along the way.
It's fair. We've been grinding video games for what, the past 4 years before COVID. I mean, I started playing with you guys about 4 years ago, but
Yeah.
I mean, we've been playing video games for most of our lives.
So I've been playing
You know,
video-
Jackson and I grew up with a PlayStation 1, then we moved to a PlayStation 2,
How dare you forget the
Xbox
SNES?
Xbox 360.
How dare you forget?
Oh, we had a Super Nintendo too, but
Yeah.
that was our dad's.
It's like, Dad
That
played
wasn't
Castlevania
ours.
so much on that.
Yeah, and then we had a Xbox 360 for a while. Kind of got away from the PlayStation. It wasn't until I think like 2012 we got a PS3.
Yeah,
then
that's because our
ever since
Xbox
then we've been-
broke.
Yeah, we've been nothing but PlayStation gang since then. I think I had an Xbox One at one point, but ended up selling it within like 5 months. Just I didn't have a lot of friends that were playing Xbox at the time, so didn't really make sense to keep it.
Yeah, and I completed the transaction on your PlayStation 2, so that thing's gone.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't had a PlayStation 2. I think I had two of them at one point. I think I ended up selling one to Gary, and then ended up selling one to my brother, and my brother still has it. So
I bought Ultimate Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 for that thing immediately.
yeah, two of the best games ever made for the PlayStation, I think.
Sure.
At least
That's
for
just
our favorite
crazy.
genre.
Speaking of Spider-Man, oh wait, Gary, finish what you were gonna say.
It's wild, and I feel like it doesn't take much out of it, but you could go back and play a fair amount of those games on PlayStation 5. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have all of them, but you can go feel that again. It's like, man, if I could go back and play one of the OG Medal of Honor games before Call of Duty and all that, like, that was peak.
Sweet
That's what you
childhood
wanted.
memories.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I still say it to this day. I think the PlayStation 2 is the greatest console of video game history.
Japan firmly had their grasp on the throat of the industry.
Yeah, I would say the PS2 probably brought us the most, at least in our lifetime, probably some of the most iconic video games that you can think of.
I got.
Because it peaked right throughout all of our childhoods.
I don't know. I gotta say, like the Xbox 360 and the Xbox, those.
Xbox 360 was really good too.
They
don't
brought-
get me wrong.
they
but I
brought
was just a
multiplayer.
big PlayStation
Mauled
2
my
fan.
Xbox 360.
But they
thing-
brought multiplayer.
That thing went through the
so-
ringer with me.
What, did you ever get the Red Ring of Death?
Oh, we did.
No.
Yeah.
Our disc reader got broken.
Well, that too, but
I-
we ended up getting the Red Rings of Death.
I got the red ring, but it was the disc reader, so I voided my warranty and used some Chinese eBay disc reader for another year and a half. And
That's fair.
All right. Let's get back on track here.
All right, moving on to our first topic. We're going to be talking about new games that are coming out. Number one is obviously the game that's coming out in 9 days, Spider-Man 2. What are our thoughts?
Well, my first thought is it's already been said by multiple video game testers that have already tested the game that it's definitely going to be the game of the year.
Easily.
So that's really exciting. For me, I don't really like single player games. I don't like going through story modes. I'm not one to sit here and grind out games, but Spider-Man 1 I probably spent about a week grinding out all of the costumes, grinding out everything. I ended up completing the game all the way through. And then, Spider-Man Miles Morales, I beat the game, didn't beat all the costumes and stuff. There's just something about the original Spider-Man. I'm not a huge Miles Morales fan, but I'm really excited. The story looks really good, so I'm really excited to play this game.
And kind of going along with that too, that's my main thought is you finally have a next-gen Spider-Man game where you can play as Spider-Men, multiple of them, and especially with all the Into the Spider-Verse and stuff going on like that. Why can't they make a multiplayer co-op Spider-Man game? Two, like, you and the boys swinging through the city just fighting crime. Like, that's what everybody wants, and I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to achieve. They've done bigger, freer, open world stuff. I mean, you look at Grand Theft Auto 5 running on old gen, and you could just do that, maybe some better physics. We have Unreal 5, but I feel like, yeah, it'll be a great game, but it's not to take anything away from the whole Spider-Man thing, but it's kind of getting stale. I know they got story stuff to do with it, but that's just my personal opinion.
I think they made Mary Jane butt ugly, and I wouldn't touch her on a dare.
Oh my god,
Dude, you're crazy. You are crazy.
they really did.
That is blasphemous.
They really
Have you
did.
seen it?
They changed
Have
up
you
her
seen
model
her?
a lot from the last one.
It's not good.
I don't know. Honestly, I think I'm gonna enjoy all of it. I 100%ed the first Spider-Man once. No, actually, not once, but twice. Including all the DLC, and on top of that, I also 100%ed Miles Morales because I love that game. Personally, I feel like swapping between the two is gonna feel, I don't know, because like Miles, his trick system. I don't know if you ever got into that, Junior, but his trick system was much better than Peter's. It was more.
Oh yeah, 100% much better. I will say Miles Morales had a lot more flair to it than the first Spider-Man game.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. It's just something about somebody being Spider-Man other than Peter Parker. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of cool to see all the different movies that have come out with the multiverse and things like that. But, I'm an OG Spider-Man fan. I appreciate all the different Peter Parkers that we've gotten over the years. And I think they finally got Peter Parker right in a video game. I think this has probably been the best Peter Parker we've seen.
Oh, hands down.
I think. Going off of what Gary said about the open world and having multiplayer, if we can have games like Police Simulator where you can go out and give tickets with your friends and stuff like that, we could definitely have an open world Spider-Man game with multiple people in one, multiple Spider-Mans. So I don't see why they haven't tried to do something like that yet. Maybe that's something we'll see in the future. I don't know.
I'm
think
curious.
Even if it's just Peter and Miles, you get two people, that wouldn't be too hard for any server to handle, even for the size that it's going to be. But it's Manhattan. I mean, you're not going across the states. It's Manhattan.
Yeah. I think you could also add some other iterations of Spider-Man too. I mean, you can have Spider-Woman, you can have Spider-Gwen. Like, you can bring in a lot of different characters.
Spider-Man
and
20.
Bring in an open world. Yeah, you can bring in an open world Spider-Man. I think that'd be really cool.
And not even to get
Face cam,
too
you can
far
do your own
fetched.
Spider-Man.
Like, yeah, make your own. You have your own suit that you make and stuff. It's like being your own Spider-Man. And any Spider-Man fan, that's from the ground up. So you're becoming your own Spider-Man. You can't beat that. It's almost as good as those silly string web shooters in 2004 or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's
I
just like
remember those.
It's just like what Stan Lee said. Stan Lee said Spider-Man's the most relatable character because anybody could be under that mask. It doesn't have to necessarily be
100%.
just Peter Parker.
Totally agree with that.
So
Yeah, I think that's one
Who do you
thing that's
think
cool
would be
about
the best
Spider-Man that's
Spider-Man
different.
here?
Well, I'm too fat, so I can't
do
do it.
Well, that's fair.
Steve, it's all you. You know.
Yeah, I think you've got probably the wittiest comebacks. That's what that's what he's known for. So I think definitely
Yeah,
Steven would be the better Peter Parker than anybody.
I'm
Absolutely.
honored, but you should not trust the safety of New York in my hands.
All right, so moving on.
I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Downhill rapidly.
I was gonna say moving on. So did everyone see like the trailer? See all the breakdowns or talking about like all the villains that are gonna be in it?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, what are we hoping for like future DLC villains? Like what do we want to see?
Kind of hoping we see Aquaman or not Aquaman. Hydro Man?
Oh,
Hydro Man. I just got done watching
Aquaman.
the Spider-Man 1994 cartoon series.
oh, the part
I
where
just got
Mary
done
Jane
watching the
dissolves into water.
Dude, I had that on, dude, I had that on VHS. I had like the first like 8 episodes on VHS.
I'm really excited to see that. I'd like to see maybe some more Black Cat missions. I think that'd be kind of cool. I thought that was a pretty good DLC. Oh god, here we go. I thought the Black
Yeah,
Cat
you would.
DLC in the game was good. I thought it was also cool that they brought in like Tombstone, and they brought in Hammerhead and those kinds of guys. Those guys don't really get all the recognition
Oh yeah.
as some of the like top villains get. So I think that's what I'm most excited about. I think the one thing I'm probably the most excited about is Venom. I mean, Venom's been my favorite Spider-Man character ever since I was a kid. And so getting to see him in a game, see him in live action like that we haven't really seen since Ultimate Spider-Man, I think that's going to be the most exciting thing. I guess I haven't seen since Ultimate Spider-Man because I didn't play like Web of Shadows or anything
You
like
didn't
that.
play Web
so-
of Shadows? That game was.
No, I regret it because you had it, and I just was never really interested. I wasn't interested in Spider-Man like that until, the MCU. All the Spider-Man movies came out in the MCU, and I think that's what like piqued my interest back into comic books. And I think that I think Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that, but I love the difference between him and the other ones. Andrew Garfield, yes, he played a high school teenager, but he looked too old to be a high school teenager. And same thing with Tobey Maguire. Both of them look too old, but Tom Holland's the perfect age. I think he's got the perfect mold. I don't know. I think he's my favorite Spider-Man. He might not be the best, but I think he's my favorite.
I
Fair.
think they need to use AI and bring back Bonesaw.
Bonesaw. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of beat time.
So for villains that I want to see in like future DLC, I would definitely say Chameleon.
Defoe Goblin.
No,
Yeah,
not-
Chameleon would be cool.
Green Goblin would be a nice touch too.
I really
nice.
don't think they're gonna bring in Green Goblin though. I think they're gonna save that for a
Yeah,
third game.
I definitely-
Yeah,
I mean,
they've got so many opportunities
could-
for them to bring in the Green Goblin. The Hobgoblin would be kind of cool.
how about Carnage?
I think it's too soon for Carnage. Too soon.
I would say Carnage needs his own game though. I mean,
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, but I think it's too soon.
Unless
think
there's like a
it's-
DLC on this one that kind of
Yeah.
goes like,
sets up a Carnage game.
I guess if it goes across like 3 parts like the other DLCs do, because the 3 DLCs were like
Okay.
what 2 hours, 3 hours. Well, actually, it's more than 2 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, it was probably about 4 or 5 hours, so
But-
I'd say.
Especially if you 100% it like you do. But I mean, that's kind of like even like I was saying with Ghost Recon Wildlands too. They teased Breakpoint within that game, and there was a whole other set of missions to introduce that, and then it like gets the hype build up, and you're ready to go on it. And I mean, they don't need any more money, but that boosts their sales crazy. So
True.
you just get that hype train rolling all over again before you're even thinking about Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. Are we thinking? How about storyline ideas? Anybody got any comic books in mind?
Not really. I think they're gonna hit a lot of the Lethal Protector kind of stuff in this. I think that's probably what I'm most excited to see.
I don't know about Lethal Protector. I would love to see a DLC with Venom.
I've heard a lot of rumors. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. I've heard a lot of rumors that Venom is going to be a playable character. And so I think they're going to hit a lot of Lethal Protector missions, maybe some side missions with him being the Lethal Protector. That's what I'm most excited about. I think that's probably my favorite Venom series. I like seeing him in a different light, not just a villain, but an anti-villain. Is not really a hero. He goes and does his own thing, destroys the city or whatever, but he's also protecting people involved with it. So I think I'd like to see a lot of that.
I don't know about any storyline in particular. I already know that they're definitely going to hit on the. I can't remember the name of it, but it was the Spider-Man comics run where Kraven like buried Spider-Man alive and everything. I feel like they're definitely gonna hit on that in this game.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Kraven. Kraven's probably my second favorite Spider-Man character. It's a really misunderstood. There's a lot of different variations of Craven and what he does too. So, you know who else I'd like to really see is Morbius. I'd like to see Morbius as maybe a side
It's
character in
morbid
this,
time.
Yeah. But specifically Jared Leto.
too. No, that's such a terrible movie.
Let's see.
I'm gonna be honest, I never saw it.
It's not good.
and
It's not good.
It's not good.
I think I got
Not
the
at all.
gist of it without even seeing it.
Yeah, it was not a good movie.
At no
I
point
think they
does
did
he.
the character wrong.
At no point does he say it's morbid time, and I was a little bit disappointed. Not gonna lie.
What's the
I
point?
do think though
What's the
that the Morbius movie kind of opens up Andrew Garfield maybe coming back. There's been a rumor that they're gonna make a Amazing Spider-Man 3. So the costume from the Amazing Spider-Man was hinted at during the trailers for Morbius. So it's possible that they do make other Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield movies, which I think they should. They've already brought him into the MCU. Let's just expand this more.
I think if they're getting all willy-nilly with vampires, they might as well just throw
Blade.
Blade in there.
Mhm.
Well, the Blade is in the MCU. They are making a Blade movie,
Mhm.
so I think they're gonna tie it all together. I really do. It's all gonna be tied in together. I think the way that Sony and the way that Marvel work together to bring this multiverse concept into play is huge. It brings a lot of childhood memories back.
Blade, but he's played by Robert Downey Jr.
No,
No,
that just ruins
not
it.
again. All right, moving on. Do we have any concerns about Spider-Man 2? I personally, I don't really have any. From what I'm seeing, it looks like it's gonna be great.
Mary Jane.
Oh my gosh, Steven.
Here
Get
we
over
go,
it.
dude.
Steven, you're
I
not
don't
even
know
gonna
what-
play it. I don't know why you're concerned about it. You won't even play it.
I think my biggest
but-
concern is it's just going to be a little too similar to the other two video games that came out.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'd say is like, even if they don't like rehash animations and swinging and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, you're still just swinging through the city, and whatever story elements they put in there, you're still going to be putting in half your time swinging through the city.
Yeah. I don't know. My concern is that I don't know. It feels like from the base on the trailers that it looks like it's going to be a really, really dark story. My concern is that they're not going to reach that expectation.
I mean, it is possible, but
There's
eventually,
only so far they can go
Yeah.
with the rating it's going to have.
Before
yeah.
it
I mean,
becomes
Aunt May died in the last one. Like, that was a really dark end to that story. So
But-
it's possible that they definitely go dark here. I hope they don't kill off Peter in this.
I don't
hope they.
I don't think they would.
You never know. I mean, in that story where you were talking about Spider-Man getting buried alive, in another comic, Craven does kill Spider-Man. So, like, it's a possibility.
Honestly, I think if they're gonna kill Spider-Man, I feel like they should do it the way they did it in Ultimate Comics. Does anybody else know how Spider-Man died in the Ultimate Comics?
No, I don't think so.
So in the Ultimate Comics, the Sinister Six, it's Norman Osborn, Electro, Sandman, Vulture, and two others. But they all go to Peter's house. Peter shows up. Peter's already injured. He got shot with a sniper rifle, and so he's bleeding out as is. But he fights all of them, and the Green Goblin is talking trash to him, and Peter picks up a whole entire moving truck and slams it on him repeatedly until it blows up and kills him. Or, like, puts him on his deathbed, basically. And I feel like that should be the way he goes out. I mean...
Well, that's kind of like what I was going with, though. I don't know if they could do that. Because even with everything that happened in Miles Morales and stuff like that, there's nothing that graphic or near that, you know?
Right.
I feel like they could do it and get away with it. I mean, Ultimate Spider-Man had Venom grabbing people and eating them whole. So I feel like they
Get a
But that's
intro
a
mission.
different type of game, though, you know?
yeah, but I mean,
Because this one, they're trying to get marketed to, like, younger, maybe not children, but, like,
definitely.
preteens and stuff like that. And I would have lost that growing up. My mom was right there with me if I was looking for a game. She's like asking the cashier, what's this about?
That's true.
And I'm like, come on, dude.
Spider-Man.
Shh, don't tell her. Don't ruin it. All right.
I'm playing the Kung Fu Panda game.
Oh gosh.
All right. What costumes do we want to see? Like number one costume from all of us.
Well, I know,
Uncle
Jax,
Ben.
you and I have talked about the Sam Raimi.
Oh, we're already
the
getting that. That one's been
Spider-Man 3.
confirmed.
Yeah, the Spider-Man 3
Oh, yeah.
suit. I'm excited about that black suit. You know, there's not really
So
a lot
I'm
of
hoping, like,
costumes.
the other black suit, Tobey Maguire,
They-
tuxedo. Maybe still have a black Spider-Man mask on.
Bully Maguire.
There's been a leak, and they showed that one. Those two are right next to each
Oh
other,
my goodness.
so it's already prepared. Personally, I want to see the Spectacular Spider-Man, the TV show Spider-Man.
Ooh.
I want to see that suit, or Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit.
I want to see
Well,
Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man 1 was in...
The one suit, but the 2 suit is probably the best comic accurate costume in movies.
Yeah, I bet it'll be in there just because 1 was in the first game, so I bet Amazing Spider-Man 2 is in this one. I'm excited to see that one. Honestly, I prefer the classic Spider-Man suits more so than the other ones, so...
How about you, Steven?
Steve,
I want
don't
an
care.
Uncle Ben skin.
Oh my gosh. Steven, you're the type of person that would be playing with the bombastic Bagman costume the whole game.
That's the one with the bag over his head and his underwear, right?
No, he's in the Fantastic Four costume with the bag over his head.
Is there not one with him just in his underwear?
Oh no, there is one.
There sure is.
You have to 100%
You know,
the game for
you
it.
know which one? You know which one I would like to see, and I don't know if you guys would agree with this, but I'd like to see Spider-Man with 6 arms, like in the TV show.
I mean,
Oh. Man Spider.
Yeah, the man spider, or even like the giant spider beast. That'd be kind of cool too.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Maybe you get like a zombie one or something like that.
They
Who
couldn't.
knows?
They
Look at
couldn't.
that.
They couldn't go with the Marvel Zombies run of Spider-Man. Are you kidding me? That he didn't even use web fluid in that. He used other things.
I don't like what
I don't
you're
even
suggesting.
wanna know where you're
Not
going
like
with
a
that.
bottle. Not like that. I'm talking.
don't like
It's
it.
made by
No.
it's made by Robert Kirk, or it's made by those people. So you can imagine how gruesome it is. It's gross.
Well,
Not like
I'm
not.
not even gonna.
I'm
go
not even.
there.
You could stop.
Moving on.
I'm thinking of the last Spider-Man's No Way Home, where they're asking each other how they make each other.
Oh.
And Tobey Maguire's like, "Oh, I don't make it. It's just in my body." And they like look at each other like you knew there was some kind of sexual innuendo in that. They were thinking dirty things.
All right, moving on
That's just-
from that. Oh, Gary, what were you gonna say?
Entirely natural.
Oh, I'm good.
All right, moving on from that. How about the Phasmophobia console release that's coming out?
Well, I have no idea what this game is, so you're
Huh?
gonna have to explain it to me.
So Phasmophobia is
Played it
basically
once on a VR and I pooped myself.
it's basically
I had the same experience.
it's a scary game where you and your friends, up to 4 people, are tasked to go to this house and discover what type of ghost it is. There's like a list of like 20 different ghosts, and you have to find certain evidence like ultraviolet, spirit box, EMF readers, all that. Like you remember Ghost Adventures when we were younger?
No,
Do you remember Ghost Hunters?
no.
Oh my gosh, it's just like any ghost hunting TV show.
You remember Mythbusters?
Oh my gosh, Steven.
Yes, Mythbusters was awesome.
Mythbusters, but ghost.
But you just go into there, you search around the house. The ghost can hunt and kill people,
Oh
and
gosh.
it's a lot of fun. It's just supposed to scare you.
Well, I mean, it sounds fun, but I don't know. I'm not a big horror video game kind of person. I mean, I struggle playing Dead by Daylight. It gets my heart going pretty good. So,
Especially palpitations.
Especially
it
when I played
definitely-
Michael Myers with the scratched mirror.
Yeah, dude, I still have that video of when you chased me and you killed me as Michael Myers, and you caught me out of the corner, and I just screamed. Ah! It was, yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, it sounds like a really good game, and I mean, if it's something that we decide we're gonna play as a group, I mean, I might buy it, but
I mean, I already have it.
I don't know.
I already have it on PC.
Yeah. I'm probably still going to get it, but I got to say I'm nowhere near as excited as I was, because with any game, I think it hurts any gamer when you get all built up for something, then it gets delayed regardless of the reason. And it's understandable. Studios have stuff going on. They're probably just trying to make it as good as they can. But it's like, man, no, they already blew the Halloween window. It's like, you're still pushing it, and they should have just said they were releasing it then and kept the hype going, or maybe even teased it or something. But it's just the roller coaster you get. But I'm still going to play it. I think it'll be more fun on console than it was on VR, because you're not actually like in the experience quite as much. But I mean, you look at how scared we all were at the very first jump scare boxes in Warzone 1, and we're going to sound like a bunch of baboons.
Yeah. How about you, Steve?
I don't know. I think the VR definitely was the selling aspect on it, and they're gonna have to kind of crank it up to make it any better on the console.
I mean, they are coming with a PSVR 2 already. But like, if you get your PC like you're supposed to, all you have to do is just connect a cord to your PC, and then you can play it in VR. I do it all the time. I enjoy it in VR. It's funny. So, moving on, we're going to talk about the big game that's coming out in November, the one that comes out every single year, and they don't listen to their fan base. If you can't tell, I don't like this game. Modern Warfare 3. So, are we excited for it? Why or why not?
I'm just going to come out right now and say I'm not going to get it until probably it goes on sale for Christmas, and that's a huge if I even still get it, because I was so disappointed with this year's Modern Warfare 2, and it's like, I loved the original Modern Warfare 2019, and the campaign was great. Game. Like, original Warzone in Verdansk was amazing until all the new guns and stuff started getting added and things like that, and they just microtransactioned the crap out of it because they knew they could get more money off of it, and now they're just running with that, and they're like, well, we know fans like this. We'll put a little bit of this in here to get people to buy it, and then just huge letdown once you get there. And it's not what the Call of Duty hype anymore.
I think I'd like it better if I didn't suck.
You know, as a Call of Duty fan, I've played most of the Call of Duties. I think I first started with Modern Warfare 2. I think that was the first like real Call of Duty game that I got into. Every year they hype it up like it's going to be the game of the year, and then 2019 Modern Warfare came out. It was really good. Call of Duty Black Ops, at least the multiplayer part of it, was really good. I thought that was a really good game. But I think Gary's right. Once Warzone started getting all those microtransactions and they started bringing in new guns from, Call of Duty Black Ops, the Cold War, they started bringing in the Vanguard game. I think it kind of just really killed Call of Duty for me as a whole.
And I think a huge part of it too is the fact that none of us just have time to grind it like we used to. You look back in the Black Ops 2 days, and you could literally on Christmas break play that game for like 36 hours straight and grind out a whole set of camos or something like that. And now you even attempt to do that, and you're like, yeah, I got work tomorrow. Nah.
Yeah, becoming an adult has really, really changed video games for me, especially having a kid now. My baby will be 9 months in a couple days, and haven't really played a lot of video games since she was born. And I don't really miss them all that much. Yeah, I could teach her how to play. I don't really miss the video game part of it as much. Now that I'm older, have more responsibilities, I don't have a lot of time for it. So, like, talking about video games probably isn't, like, new video games isn't, like, my strong point. Like, I'm not going to know a lot of information about a lot of these games. But I will say that I am excited for Modern Warfare 3. I've seen a lot of pretty good things, at least in the beta. I watched a lot of TikToks on it. Watched a lot of people, play the beta and everything on Twitch and stuff. And I'm excited for it, but every year I'm excited for Call of Duty, and it just kind of lets me down. Warzone 2 was a complete disaster. I don't think it's a very successful game. If they would bring back the old maps and maybe some of the older guns, it might get people more interested. But as far as Modern Warfare 2 was, we played the multiplayer for like the first month that it came out, and then I uninstalled it like immediately after, and I haven't played it since. I'm probably gonna end up buying it, but it might be one of those games again where it just sits in my library and never gets touched after the first month. So we'll see.
I don't think I played over 20 matches of Warzone 2.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think we did. And I spent, if you go back and we look at my Warzone 1 statistics, I played probably almost 70 days worth of time on Warzone 1. During that COVID time, that COVID time where we had nothing going on other than maybe a little bit of work and then grind out Warzone, I spent so much. It was such a fun game, even though there was a lot of hacking going on, a lot of cheaters in the game. It was still a lot of fun, and even the cheaters, like even just watching them kill us and then watch them kill the rest of the lobby, that was way more interesting than whatever Warzone 2 was. I can't wait until they bring out a new Warzone and they start bringing some of the old stuff back, because whatever we've got now, it just doesn't cut it for me. It's not working for me very much.
Yeah, and Warzone 1 wasn't a perfect game by any means, but just what we got out of it was way more than anything that even came close in that time period. And we were burning through games right there. We were playing Siege and everything like that, and we'd still crawl back to Warzone eventually until right when they started changing the map up.
Once Caldera dropped, I think I stopped playing Warzone. Yeah. I think them getting rid of Verdansk was probably the worst thing that they could have done. A lot of people liked Caldera. I wasn't a big fan of it. I didn't really like the new smaller maps either. What was the one? Not prison, but it was oh gosh, what was it?
Is it Ashika?
No,
it
was
before
that. It was still like Warzone 1, like peak Warzone 1 when they brought that smaller map.
Oh, is it the one that had the King Kong and Godzilla?
Yeah, no, it was before that too.
Really?
The prison one, yeah.
Yeah, God, what was it called?
Couldn't tell.
It was the one that was based off Alcatraz.
Yeah, whatever the one that was based on Alcatraz. That's where I think the game went wrong. They brought in that new map. Well, yeah, I saw that they are bringing it back, but what is the name of that game? The map?
I have no idea.
Rebirth Island. That's what it is. Rebirth Island. Yeah, I'm not excited for that, but I don't know. We'll see. It's still better than whatever they have now. That's for sure. So.
I don't know. Like looking at all the stuff that's coming out from Modern Warfare 3, they're just releasing all the things that they said were going to be in Warzone 2. Or in Warzone 2, in Modern Warfare 2. They're just putting it into Modern Warfare 3 with a campaign and some extra guns. To me, it just seemed...
The campaign for Modern Warfare 1 was really good.
Oh, yeah.
And
at least with like Cold War and stuff, you jump between engines, but this one, it's like literally the exact same game, copy and paste with new kill animations or something like that.
Yeah. And honestly, like all the driving points are like, oh, we're going to be putting in these old maps that everyone requested. It's like, wow, it's like you're just trying to get us to buy $70 or spend $70 on DLC. That's what it feels like to me.
It's just redoing old stuff. Like, I get the nostalgia and stuff like that, but I'm getting so tired of remasters and stuff like that because, yeah, it's a great game. Yeah, maybe it looks better now, but it's like, I want something new.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just... They're going to keep profiting off of it, but, I mean, we're not getting anything fresh. Even with newer games, like Elden Ring was probably one of the more interesting experiences in a game I've had in a long time, and it was still just a Souls-like. It wasn't that original.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that's just the problem with video games in general. They're just kind of running out of ideas for new games. At least in the genres that I'm interested in, they're just running out of new ideas. So kind of hard to execute them when they don't really have anything that they can bring in that's new. So we'll see where this Modern Warfare game goes, but I don't know. I always buy COD games, so I'm probably gonna buy it at some point before, if I pre-order it or if I order it the day that it comes out. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see.
I don't know. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not too keen on it. Alright, moving on. How about some other games? Do you have any other games that we heard anything about?
Well, I just saw today that there's a possibility that Guitar Hero comes back.
Ooh.
You know, as you guys know, I grinded Guitar Hero. I mean, I beat every single game on Expert that ever came out. I rebought the Xbox 360 just so I could buy all those games and play them again when I was in college. I have Clone Hero. I haven't played it as much. It's been a little while since I played Clone Hero, but just the Guitar Hero series in general, I think is probably my favorite series that's ever come out. I've probably spent more time playing Guitar Hero than I have any other gaming series. It probably doubles the next closest one, to be honest with you. So I'm excited. If they do bring it back, I'd like to see them bring back some of the old games, but I'd also like them to bring their own new reiteration to it. I didn't like whatever one that came out, the Guitar Hero, what was it that came out on the PS4?
Live?
Yeah, no,
it was live.
Was it live?
Yeah, it was
I wasn't a
Guitar
big
Hero
fan of that.
I mean, I played that. I enjoyed it, but the new controllers or the new setup with the 3 on top and 3 on bottom, sure, it's more like a real guitar because, as you can see, I play guitar, but so it was fun and everything, but it's not like playing a real guitar. Real guitar is it's hard.
Yeah, you got to give them credit for trying something new with the design anyway. But
yeah,
100%.
You play a guitar and you struggled with that game. What about all the people that never picked up a guitar in their life?
Yeah.
What are they doing with that? Then you just cut that whole half of the fan base out, or whatever percentage it may be, and you just alienate people.
And then on top of that, I remember the Guitar Hero Live music wasn't the best selection. Like, when I play Guitar Hero, I expect to hear, 80s music or, metal, actual rock, not, something from the 1975.
I think actual guitar. I don't want to be playing along with a synthesizer or something,
Yeah, they were playing. They had Skrillex on there. They had Bangarang. I don't understand that. I don't know. I like playing. I want to expected Skillet, Slipknot, Korn, those kind of bands.
Creed.
You just want Creed.
I don't. After Guitar Hero 3, I think the Guitar Hero series just kind of started to go downhill. Guitar Hero 3 was definitely the best. Maybe not the best executed game in terms of all the controls and stuff, but it was definitely the best selection of music for sure.
I don't know. World Tour was pretty good.
World Tour was good. I did like World Tour, but I still think Guitar Hero 3 had the best song selection. It was a great variety.
World Tour did. It was it covered so many different genres, and Guitar Hero 3, it was mostly heavier rock type music, but yeah, I mean, you got Mississippi Queen and stuff like that. You can't beat that.
Yeah. It was a great game. I think my favorite Guitar Hero I ever played was Guitar Hero Metallica. I think that had the best.
Was really good.
Had the best controls, the guitar, the rhythms and stuff. They all felt better in Guitar Hero Metallica. So that was probably my favorite. Metallica was always my favorite band growing up anyways, so it was also a plus to have a full game dedicated to one of the greatest metal bands of all time. But I have to agree that it kind of fell off after a World Tour. Guitar Hero Metallica was good, and even some of the other ones were good too. But Guitar Hero 3, Guitar Hero 2, Guitar Hero 1, those are all just bangers in my opinion. Some of the best games I think some of the most fun I've definitely had playing video games from those 3 games.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
How about Lords of the Fallen? Anybody excited for that?
The trailers look really cool for it, and I like that they used Iron Maiden as a trailer because kind of going back to what we grew up with. Like,
I'm
the
in.
game has a background track for your trailer, and that's like, oh, you get your headspace right where they want the game to be for you. And just like with Elden Ring, it's another Souls-like. I'll probably get it, but I don't know how much I'll get out of it being that way. But it looks really good with the powers and the combat system, and it seems like a little bit different, but it just kind of looks like a dark Elden Ring, which I'm worried about. But
Yeah. How about you, Steve?
Personally,
You had me
Steve,
at Iron
you
Maiden.
go, Steve.
Yeah, Iron Maiden. Well, Steven, I figured you would like it because it's a Souls game. Do you like Souls games? And then on top of that,
No
I
idea
remember
what it is.
I remember the announcement. It was like one of the first Souls games that ever came out. They're just remastering it. So, but I remember from the trailer they had the guy that played Eddie Munson from Stranger Things doing the narration for it.
Oh, sick.
But Junior, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
It's just like I've said before, off air. It's just not my genre of games. Like I said, I don't really like single player games with the story mode and stuff. It's never really been me. I've never been one to really play it. I think like God of War, Spider-Man, those are kind of the exceptions, like the big hits. Just single player games just don't really cut it for me. I'm a sports video game guy, but I also, dabble in Grand Theft Auto games and Call of Duty games and things like that. I'm more of a mainstream kind of guy. Play a lot of mainstream video games. I'm not like you guys that, play these side games. Like I think like the furthest I think I've traveled like outside of like what I would consider mainstream is probably like Rainbow Six, the Siege game. Just that's about as far as I've gone outside of my comfort zone. Just not something I'm really interested in. Now I have seen a trailer for it. I do think it looks like a really good game, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. Like Gary said, he might be worried that it might just be a copycat of another game. But I feel like all those Souls games kind of are a copycat of one another.
Yeah, it's very
So
similar.
I don't know. I don't really have a lot of thoughts about it other than it looks good, and I hope it's good for the people that enjoy playing games like that. But it's not for me.
That's fair.
Such a positive.
kind of along that.
How about UFC 5?
I'm excited for UFC 5.
Oh,
I am.
baby.
That's right up my alley. Combat games
Who's
like
on
that.
who's on the cover now?
I saw it. I just can't remember.
I'll go look it up. I'm opening it up right now.
Yeah.
UFC 5.
Wasn't
Gotta be
it
Paulo Costa.
Adesanya again?
Oh no!
Can't be. He just
No,
won them
who
all.
is this? I don't even know who this is.
I'll look it up. See.
It's not Adesanya is on the deluxe edition.
So I knew he was on one of them.
What does he look like? Is it?
I think
Johnny Bones Jones?
Valichenko is the girl on it, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see who's on the cover.
Should put
of
John Jones
UFC
on there,
5.
but coked up John Jones.
Mugshot and
Dude,
everything.
John Jones is my favorite.
John Jones.
So it's
John
Adesanya is on the deluxe edition. So it's Valentina Shevchenko
John
and
Jones after he
Alexander
headbutt that cop car.
Volkanovski. Volkanovski is the guy on the cover.
Oh.
Valentina Shevchenko, shout out to my best friend Gabe. Actually got a picture with her. So she came hunting down here in southeast Colorado not too long ago,
What,
a couple
with her
years
bare
ago.
hands?
I don't know, dude. She is like incredible. I can't believe she lost her title. I really can't. I never thought that would happen. That's kind of the same things with Ronda Rousey. I just never thought that would happen. But Valentina Shevchenko is one of the baddest women on the planet. I mean, she is phenomenal at what she does. My best friend got a picture with her after she came hunting down here in southeast Colorado. So it's kind of cool that she knows, our area a little bit. She's been here before. She kind of sees what we're all about from these small towns and things like that. So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited for UFC 5. I love UFC games, and it's cool to see Adesanya on the cover. Adesanya is probably one of my top 5 favorite fighters of all time. He's a cocky SOB, that's for sure, but as a fighter, you gotta be. So
I think in line
I say
with
they
the
just-
fighting genre, we need a new fight night game bad. Like, we haven't had a decent boxing game in so long. So long. And yeah, you have like the Creed
What was
one
the
on
dude's name?
Oculus and stuff
Iceman
like that,
or
but-
whatever.
Oh my goodness, there was so many. The announcer, his name was like Tiger or something like that in Fight Night in 2004, and it was just me as a kid. I'm like, man, I don't know what any of this means, but I'm out here.
Yeah, I'd like to see a boxing game with Canelo
I don't
and Triple
know.
G and those kinds of things. Like,
Could-
bring in real boxing.
Even the way
cool to
back,
see.
it was Roy Jones, Floyd
Yeah,
Mayweather,
they're gonna
Manny,
put
like,
in-
just,
They're gonna put in a DLC of Jake Paul, Logan Paul. You already know they would do
Oh,
that
please don't.
immediately. They would do
Please
that just
don't.
because children would buy it.
as long as we get a
please
boxing
don't.
game, I don't care.
That's
They
fair.
can put KSY in there. I don't care who they put in it. They put Butterbean in the old games, and he was just some big fat bald guy in a USA shorts.
Huh.
He knocked
Yeah.
out Johnny Knoxville in a department store.
All right. So,
He's an American hero is what he is.
so it seems like there's going to be a lot of games that are actually coming out that seem exciting, other than Modern Warfare. Ugh.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of great video games coming out. I'm real, like I said, I don't really spend a whole lot of time with video games as much as I'd like to. Sometimes I miss it, sometimes I don't, but you know what I mean. But it looks like there's a lot of good things coming out. I'm really excited to see, some of these big games coming out.
All right. Moving on into our next thing. It's going to be a little bit of game in between our two topics, or our topics. We're going to do really bad game descriptions. Everyone has to come up with 2 descriptions of a game, make them really bad. We'll go in an order. Let's see. I guess I'll go first. Who wants to go second?
So are we coming up with our own here?
Yeah.
I was confused.
Everyone comes up with 2. We'll go in order, and the other 3 will guess what it is. So I'll say mine. You 3 try to guess what game it is, and then we'll go from there.
All right,
And then who wants to go second?
I'll go
I
second.
have-
I'm gonna stump you.
To be honest, I have no idea what's going on. So
Yeah, I need an example.
yeah, well, let's just Jackson. You start.
All right.
It's a jackal.
All right, I got one. 3 police officers.
Fortnite.
No, 3 police officers have a really bad trip inside a psych ward.
Outlast.
No, good guess though. Steven, I know you should know this, Steve. I was literally just playing this the
Yeah,
other day.
I know the game. Yeah, I know the game. I forgot its name though.
The Evil Within.
Yeah, actually, that's perfect.
Hey, I've never even played that, but I know that was like your
What
favorite
was it?
game when we met.
Evil
The
Within.
Evil Within.
Such a good game.
I think I played maybe the first level of that game and stopped.
I'm surprised you didn't guess it then, because that was like literally the premise right there. It was a bad trip.
Okay, so you said you're doing 2, so go again.
Really?
Oh no, we're gonna go all around and then do our cycle.
Okay. I got one. If Gary's not ready yet.
Oh, I got mine.
Okay, let's go, Gary.
The CIA sticks their grubby little mitts in the Central American drug trade to consequences of your choosing.
Okay, that's.
Black Ops 2.
Nope.
I'm gonna guess Breakpoint,
Close. Very close.
Wildlands. Then.
Yep, that's the one. I love games where it lets you choose. Because by God, I'm going to play that game again and pick the other one just to see what happens.
True.
Steve, do you have one yet or no?
Give me a second. You go ahead.
Okay. So, mine's a corporate mogul organizes a martial arts tournament in order to kick 7 bells out of his family.
Monopoly.
No.
Corporate.
Say it again.
A corporate mogul organizes a martial arts tournament in order to kick 7 bells out of his family.
Mortal Kombat.
Who said
You're on the right track with Mortal Kombat.
Tekken?
Like
Yeah,
Street Fighter?
Tekken.
Tekken? Really?
Ah, shit,
Tekken,
not
yeah,
that.
Tekken.
I didn't even know
You know
that, but
what
that was.
Tekken is?
Oh, I love Tekken. Tekken was probably
Dude, we
PlayStation
had-
1 was probably number 2 in my all-time favorite video games on the PlayStation 1.
Steve,
I love
Speaking of
Tekken.
new games,
I
we
wanna-
got Tekken 8 coming out, and you can make your own
Yeah.
fighter like
Oh.
Soul
I
Calibur.
want to
Oh.
put this in perspective for you, Steven. We used to have the PS1 that had the screen itself. On our
Oh, mama.
on our on our car rides to different areas, we'd always open that bitch up, and Junior and I would play Tekken, NHL, and just have the
I could see
great
you
time.
two strangling each
Yeah,
other in
dude,
the back seat.
that little screen that they added to the PS1 was one of my favorite inventions ever.
See, it's cool that they kind of have that for Xbox. It was a third-party company that eventually partnered with Xbox, but it's the same thing, except you have to carry around your giant Xbox One S or Xbox Series S, whatever it is now.
Yeah. Okay, Steve, you're up.
All right, tuberculosis simulator.
Oh my gosh, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Trauma.
That's a good game.
How dare you
That's
do
a
that
good
to
game.
me?
Red Dead Redemption's a good game.
Emotional damage.
All right, Jack.
I'm sorry,
you
if
want
you
me to
haven't
go or do
played
you
the
want me to
story
go?
of that game yet, you need it to be spoiled for you, because that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
At this point.
All right. My other game is. Oh man, I'm trying to think of another one off the top of my head. I got two I could go with. You know what? Man who cannot die tries to kill all his friends in a single day.
Deathloop?
Yeah.
Hey,
That game's actually good.
I love
that's
that game so
Dishonored
much.
adjacent.
Yeah. Dishonored. Diet Dishonored.
That was actually what I was gonna go.
Diet Dishonored.
I was
That's
gonna.
Dishonored 0.
I was trying to go for Dishonored,
Light.
but I couldn't figure out like what I was exactly gonna say for that. But I picked
Yeah.
Deathloop because I know YouTube or you, Gary and Steve played it.
Yep.
So I had a really good one, but it's a pretty old game, and I don't know if anyone's going to get it.
Go for it. Fire away.
This game is a psyop.
How dare you? I know what it is. I can't
Was this
remember.
like Spec Ops: The Line or something.
Yes,
Yep.
that's the one.
All right, I
Step
got
right
one.
up, kids. You can drop white phosphorus on civilians.
This is
Oh,
You
probably
ever see what
one
white
of
phosphorus
my...
does to a native's eyes? You wanna?
Let you talk.
I think this is probably one of my favorite games, so we'll see if you guys can get it. A group of god-awful actors vie for the worst performance award while staying at a local mansion.
Ooh. Among Us.
No.
That would have been a good one. How old? Wait, did you say it's an old game or?
It's
Like Resident Evil.
It's both. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Steve,
was about
there
to
you
say
go.
it is
Hey.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil. Well, terrible. The first game, if you've ever played the actual original PlayStation 1 version of Resident Evil, it is terrible. The acting in that is awful.
Well,
The
what do
game
you
itself
expect?
is great, but the acting in it was terrible.
This is going to be very embarrassing to admit, but the only Resident Evil game I ever played was Revelations on the 3DS.
I played
Oh
6.
my gosh, you missed out. The
was
Resident Evil
rough.
games are great.
I only played 6, and I already know everyone hates that game, but I loved it.
I
I
bought
played the
the
old
originals
ones.
for the PlayStation 4 when they released all the remasters and stuff. I bought every single one of them.
I remember you
And-
playing them.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2, I haven't played it on the PlayStation yet, the PlayStation 5, but I'm looking forward to that one. I think they dropped Resident Evil 3 on the PlayStation 5, did they not? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to probably have to get those because those are great games.
They need to redo Raccoon City, because I remember Raccoon City was a multiplayer experience.
Raccoon
And
City was
Yeah.
but it was kind of bad.
oh yeah, it was really bad. But I mean, if you have 4 friends to play, or if you have 3 friends to play it with, it would be hilarious.
That's something that maybe we should consider doing.
Maybe. All right, Steve, you're up.
Oh dang! Hang on, I just had one. What was it? Dang it! I had one and then I got distracted with Resident Evil. um. Oh. Jack Black takes Tenacious D too far and winds up in hell.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the game, but I know exactly
man.
what you're talking about.
Steve might have stumped us on this one because I have no idea.
No, if I look,
I know exactly
if
what
I
it
look
is.
it up, I can find it because I know exactly what it is. Because there's one part where, in particular, where you can choose to censor yourself and it's just Jack Black yelling at someone, complete censors, or you could go completely uncensored and it's him cussing someone out like none other.
And Ozzy Osbourne plays, what is he? He's like the angel of death or something.
I can't remember exactly, but I
Does
remember.
he actually say? I
No,
don't
he's
remember.
just Ozzy.
Is he just Ozzy?
I'm pretty sure. From what I saw, he was just him with his glasses mumbling.
yeah.
And say, what is it?
What are you
Steve?
doing down there? Brutal legend.
That was a good one. All right, that brings
What
us.
was it? They had freaking. They had Tim Curry. Tim Curry was the villain.
Oh boy,
Oh,
the
such a
villain of
good
villains.
game. The villain of villains.
All right, that brings us to our second topic, which is going to be video game, movie / show adaptations. The big one we're going to talk about is The Last of Us. Who's all seen it? I know I have.
Nope,
I-
never even
that's
played the
one of the
game.
one
Played the game.
recent shows I watched to completion.
And I know you played the games, Steve. So, honestly, I thought the show was really good. The first episode in particular was basically shot for shot of the actual game. Yeah, other than like the very beginning, but once the outbreak actually began, it was shot for shot identical. I loved it whenever they brought in the bloater. They may not have kept it like the games, but it makes sense why they didn't. In the games, there was spore. Or Steven, you remember how there were spores in the game?
Yeah.
Well,
They'd, like put the mask on.
yeah. The way that they just said that they wouldn't have spores is because in that situation, spores would be everywhere by then, would be all around the earth, and everyone would get infected. So there was no way to actually do that realistically.
And
So
it made sense to me. I'm
Props to
objective on the whole thing because I never played either of the games, and I thought they did a really good job. Pretty
Yeah.
much, from what I had seen in clips and stuff like that, because I've seen bits and pieces of the story. I know the gist of what happens throughout The Last of Us Part 1 and 2, but I just feel like they made Joel too human, which shouldn't be a bad thing, but it's the apocalypse. Like, there shouldn't be... There's no restraint there. Joel made it this far based on the stories that we hear people talking about how he used to be, but you don't get to see any of that in the show really, other than a couple off parts where he's defending Ellie. And yeah, you get the whole like father complex thing and stuff like that, but it's like Joel, from what everyone talks about, even in the show and stuff like that, he's supposed to be some badass, and yeah, he still tries to hand Ellie off and stuff like that to Tommy, and it's like, man, you gotta realize that you are him.
That guy.
But that's exactly what my big deal with it was. Is, I mean, Joel wasn't tough. Like, you remember the scene in Pittsburgh, Steve, where they get hit by the bus and Joel and Ellie fight their way out of that convenience store?
Oh yeah.
And
Joel,
how
like,
it's
mauls that one guy on the
it's
glass pane.
very brutal. Yeah, instead of Pittsburgh, they made it Kansas City, and Joel gets attacked and he struggles.
First mistake.
He struggles in it, and that's like that's not Joel.
Kansas.
But it's Joel. Joel struggled in it, and that's not Joel. Joel would have already had
Yeah,
that.
Joe mauled that guy.
Yeah.
I,
Joel literally grabbed him by the
almost
head.
closed my eyes watching that. I was like, oh.
And that's not
Yeah.
to take anything away from Pedro Pascal,
Oh,
our
yeah.
Lord and Savior.
Yeah, but what is with Pedro Pascal and adopting young children and going on journeys with them? He has his niche, that is for sure.
Like when they did the interrogation scene from when they're in the lodge, Steve, whenever they're in the winter. That they did that one shot for shot. That was beautiful. I love that scene. That's how Joel's supposed to be. The hospital scene at the end, that's again exactly how it's supposed to be. But when you just get the teasing of that, it's annoying, and you just want to see it.
But I think part of that too, because when I was watching it, I wasn't expecting any of that because I didn't know it was coming up.
Yeah.
But like, you already know what's happening. You know what maybe quote unquote should be in that spot, and you already have those expectations for yourself. You know.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. If I take away my bias on that, yeah, absolutely. It was just a great show. They made the bloaters, Steve. They made them into basically just giant tanks that destroyed everything.
Oh,
Monster.
And it was really good. Like, that part in particular for Kansas City was probably my favorite scene, because they have Henry, Sam, Ellie, and Joel all like trapped, and all the zombies just come, or all the like the clickers and everything just come hoarding out the sewers of Kansas City, and there's like hundreds of them, and it's a really good scene.
just another normal Tuesday for Kansas City.
You better be careful with that one. Garrett likes the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think
Talk
I'm going to
trash
become
about
a
Kansas
Chiefs
any
fan
day of
after
the
my
week.
Broncos are sucking butt.
Oh, yeah. They've been doing that for the past, ever since Peyton Manning retired.
Buddy, I've been a Chiefs fan since I was sentient, and I've seen so many 2-14 seasons that it makes you sick. Our games would be getting taken off air because of how bad it was. My parents had to pay for a Sirius XM subscription just so we could listen to the broadcast of the Chiefs game from Missouri. That's how bad
From
it got.
Missouri, that's crazy.
You're getting the fall off. There's levels to this. We were a poverty franchise.
Okay, moving into our next adaptation. How about the Uncharted movie? Anybody else seen it?
That's the Tom Holland
No,
movie,
I heard it
right?
was
Yeah.
bad though, right?
I mean,
Yeah, I've heard it's bad.
I don't really have much of an opinion because I haven't, other than that little bit of multiplayer I played at your house that one time, I haven't played any Uncharted, and I haven't seen it, so I got nothing.
I don't know. Like I played a little bit of the first one. I couldn't get too far into it. I played all of the fourth one. I don't know why I just jumped in on the fourth one, but it came with my PlayStation, so I played it immediately. And I loved it. I loved it, but at the same time I hated it because they're just giving Tom Holland every role in Hollywood now.
I mean, do you blame them? He's the most probably lovable, relatable actor that we have to our age group. You know what I mean? Like all of the classic actors that you think of are all getting older. Like Tom Holland's still young, still hip. But like, it makes a lot of sense why he's being given all the Spider-Man movies are fantastic. You know what I mean?
At the same time,
it's gonna sound nuts, but like you look at the old days and stuff like that, Tom Holland and like Timothy Chalamet and stuff like that, they're gonna be 20 years from now's Leonardo DiCaprio or Tom Cruise and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like a passing of the torch thing. You just kind of gotta accept it. And I mean, you got to look at how many major roles people like Morgan Freeman have been in, Brad Pitt, people like Jason Statham. It's like they have one type and they're literally in everything, but no one was mad at it.
I don't know. My big thing, honestly, my big thing is just that Tom Holland's personality doesn't really fit with Nathan Drake. Spider-Man, yes, absolutely, but Nathan Drake, like if you play the games and you watch the movie, they feel like different people, you know. Like Nathan Drake
to The Rock.
No. Nathan Drake is a snarky, cunning. Like he is the best way I can describe it. Like his comebacks are Steven level, not like childish, but they're
like,
adult.
Like Tom Holland, like if you watch like his interviews or watch him like outside of the normal superhero role, like that's him. Like I don't know. I think he fits that mold of the sarcastic. I'm gonna come up with the witty comebacks. I think that's him to a T.
I don't know.
He just doesn't have that like exaggerated swagger and just like pure testosterone type thing going through him, you know? Because it's like that. The only thing I've seen from the Uncharted movie was that scene of him at the bar, like polishing the glass and stuff, and it just seems like it's not.
I could do that.
The attitude doesn't match his face, you know? It's like he's trying to obviously be something he's not. That's acting, but. Yeah. It's just from what you've seen of him, it's hard to see him as something else, especially once it's already like an established character, you know?
If you watch the test footage of Nathan Fillion acting as Nathan Drake, that's how Nathan Drake is. Like when you watch it and listen to him, that is identical to how Nathan Drake behaves. And that's my
bravado.
That's my big thing, is that I want it to be just like the games. Like, it doesn't need to be exactly like the game. I don't need Nolan North voicing him. But
I think Tom
I do.
Holland's like the Shia LaBeouf of our
yes,
generation.
I mean, Shia LaBeouf
Like-
fell off though.
Well, okay, but I'm not saying that Tom Holland's gonna go crazy.
Tom
and whatnot
Holland
like
doesn't have
Shia LaBeouf did, but like
I think you're onto
Shia,
something
after
there.
like watching him in Holes and then watching him in movies like Disturbia and then Transformers, like he
Oh, yeah.
fit a different mold in several different movies, and I think he did a really good job with it. And that's just kind of how I see Tom Holland. He's a young actor who's had hit films, who's done successful in multiple films now. Like I feel like he's like our generation's Shia. Like he can just, I think you can throw him into different roles, and I think he's gonna be fine.
Actual cannibal Tom Holland.
Running through the forest.
It's Tom Holland.
Shia LaBeouf.
If we're really gonna talk about video game and show adaptations, we can't go without talking about classics like Resident Evil. Like,
Which one? Are we talking about the new show that came out, or are we
You
talking
mean the
about the
really
movies?
corny
like
movies?
the movies. the
Oh
movies.
God.
Dude, those movies were so corny. I loved them.
I know. I'm a huge fan of the movies. I love the movies. I
They're
don't
the
know what it
reason.
is.
Those are the reason why, though, that video game adaptations are such, like, everyone thinks, oh, this is gonna be terrible. That's the
Yeah,
reason
like
why.
Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat was the same way.
Yeah,
like,
they
hyped up
weren't
the new
good.
Mortal Kombat movie, and it was kind of the same thing. They hyped it up so much, and the movie just didn't really execute well. The Resident Evil movies, if we're being honest, don't really utilize the storyline very well at all. Actually, they don't at all. Like they're
Yeah,
Like,
they're
at
just
all.
pure action.
separate things.
To be fair,
But I will say that the Resident Evil movies as a whole, I enjoyed them. I loved watching it. That whatever her, I can't remember what her name is, but she's like,
Jovovich or whatever it is.
yeah, it's like Mila Jovovich or whatever. Yeah, she is badass.
I don't know. I just those movies, like, I don't know. They're the reason why video game adaptations are so poor. And then you have other examples like the Halo show. I heard that one wasn't that great.
I didn't even know there was.
Did you
a
guys ever
Halo
see
show.
the Assassin's Creed movie?
No,
I
nor do I
watched like
want
the first
to.
like
Don't.
25 minutes and then like turned it off. It was
Yeah.
so bad.
But nowadays, you're having really good
Yeah,
ones that
I
are
was-
coming out. Like, is
I
anybody
watched that
else?
Assassin's Creed movie on a plane. I had nothing to do but watch it, and I still turned it off.
But, like, has anybody else seen the Super Mario Brothers movie?
No, I
Yeah.
want to, but I haven't seen it yet.
I want
Just watched it, and with
That was really good.
This is good.
it was like everyone talked
like-
smack about Chris Pratt being voicing Mario. Once you get over that fact and don't even think about it, it's actually a really good movie. Like, they don't even do the Italian accents other than for like stereotypical stuff.
Yeah, and
So-
you still have the original voice actor for Mario in that cameo role. You got all those little nostalgia pieces and the sights and sounds you get from all that growing up stuff, playing the Mario games and things like that. But the story was actually like
And they had
good.
Jack Black.
And
Yeah.
as far as you can go with
Peaches,
Mario
peaches,
fights
peaches,
Bowser.
peaches, peaches.
And then you have movies like the
Yeah.
Sonic movies.
Nailed it.
Yeah, the Sonic movies were decent. They did well in the box office, and
Well, especially since
Yeah.
Sonic 2 brought in
Surprising,
Super
'cause
Sonic.
Sonic's such a trash game franchise.
You take that back right now, Sonic
They're
Frontiers.
so bad. Those games are
They're
those
terrible.
games are so bad.
You take that back. The first
They're
one was
so
good.
bad,
The
and
second
I
one was
love 'em.
good. The rest of them sucked. But Sonic Frontiers
hey,
is
Sonic
goated.
Colors on the Nintendo DS was something else. Let
You
me tell you.
So you
games are so
played
bad, and I
Sonic
love 'em.
Frontiers. You know you've played good.
Yeah, I know. You know why I know it's not a real Sonic game? Because it was good, and it worked. It worked.
It was so good.
I wasn't a
love
big
Sonic.
fan
There
of
was
the
no-
Sonic games either.
There was no game-breaking visual glitch, or I couldn't walk through the map 10 seconds in. It didn't really do it for me.
You know, you make a fair
I'll
point.
give Steve credit here. I think the Sonic game on the original Xbox 360 was the worst game that's ever been made. And I had Lego Indiana Jones, Kung Fu Panda, that game,
Boy, did no.
and Spider-Man 3 for the Xbox 360.
I'm going
I
to
had
die. That's all.
very poor options. They made
And I still
a little
not
ditty.
play that one.
Did you ever play
They
Sonic
made a little ditty
Unleashed?
called Sonic Boom.
Oh
Dude,
gosh,
that game was horrible.
Sonic Unleashed. You didn't like that?
The werewolf one?
Yeah, that was fun to me.
Yeah, that game was trash.
It was so much fun though.
That game was so bad. like, what was it? I distinctly remember it was like the thing where you like have to like swing up on the little peg sticking out of the wall.
Yeah, I know.
And you just like rubber band your arm up
extendo
there. And you're,
arms.
like swinging around.
Go gadget,
Yeah.
extendo arms.
Go get. Dude, that game was horrible. I loved it. I had fun playing it, but man, it sucked. There's another little ditty called Sonic Boom, and that
gosh.
game, I think they used that game for like prisoners in Guantanamo Bay. Like, that game was so bad. It like you couldn't finish it. It was so bad. Like you had to physically like cheat and break the game to finish it.
That's like
Just
Tarzan
a
on the
complete piece of
PlayStation 1.
trash.
That was the most difficult game ever.
I don't know. I heard
I don't know.
The Lion King was worse.
I think the most difficult game I've ever played is Gun.
Ooh.
Good game.
Fun.
That was
Predecessor
a
to
good
Red
game,
Dead.
but it was tough.
Actually, it wasn't
was
predecessor,
tough.
but
I never played Gun because I was too busy playing Red Dead Revolver, the OG.
They can't. I'm telling you this now. They cannot make Gun nowadays.
No, it was very violent and brutal
Oh no, not because of
and
that.
racist.
I was about to say it was
It-
very
yeah,
racist
there
to
was
Native
some
Americans.
some definite racist undertones to that game.
Yeah, that'd be like turning Red Dead Redemption into Django Unchained.
Oh gosh.
Oh no. We're not even gonna get into that.
All
Red
right.
Dead Redemption, directed by Quentin Tarantino.
All right. Moving on.
Arthur
since-
Morgan comes out with his feet
Chill.
glaring foot shot.
All right.
Horsey loved me.
Let's go. What do we have for hopes for any other video game adaptations or movie? Do we want to see?
I'd like to see God of War. I think that'd be
Ooh,
kind of cool
Do you
to
have
see them make a movie about that.
Do you have a fan cast for it? Who you want to be Kratos?
I want them to do the
The
voice
Rock.
actor. That man
No.
was an absolute unit,
I agree, Gary. I'm with you on
and
that.
he absolutely deserves it.
The
voice actor
the
for
new
Kratos.
voice actor for Kratos.
Yeah, that'd be kind of
That
cool.
man
I'd
is
like to
jacked.
see somebody like Triple H maybe play Kratos.
I don't know.
What if he had Half-Thor Bjornsson, the mountain from Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
That would be good. I had one on the top of my head, and Jason Statham would be kind of cool. I think would make a
Too small.
pretty good Kratos.
But too small.
Think
Are
he's
you
too
on
small?
crack?
Too small.
No, I don't know. I think like his personality
Too
kind of fits the
small
whole badass
too British.
kind of.
Too British.
Yeah,
He's
really
kinda
too British.
Jason
But he definitely
Momoa.
fits that like badass mold. Jason Momoa is like too dark for me, I think.
What do you mean? He's
Like,
great.
If
Picking
you've
up
seen like
undertones here.
the God of War movies or video games, like he's very
I literally
white.
just played it. He's white. He's white because that's the ashes of his family.
Oh, see, I'd never played
mean,
a lot
yeah,
of the God of War.
they
The
just
original
gotta-
God of War.
you
So I only
just gotta
played the
cover 'em up
newer
with some paint.
adaptations.
Literally, Ares made him kill his
Paint that
family,
man.
and he was like, ha! Now you have to wear them.
That's why
Gotcha.
he's called the Ghost of Sparta, you goober.
Yeah, see, I only played like the Nordic iterations of the character.
Get out of
so,
here!
Oh, yeah.
Get out of here!
Yeah, I didn't play the originals on PlayStation. Like
You weren't there
PlayStation
for that
God of War
Hercules
2 catches
beatdown.
a lot of flack,
True, Steve.
but
Just
once you beat the game, you got the God of War skin, which was a fish, and the Blades of Chaos were hooks. It was the greatest thing ever.
What are some other like OG video games that'd be kind of cool to see?
I don't want to see.
Like Street Fighter. Street Fighter would be kind of cool. I think. I don't know how well they'd be
It'd be a
able to
good.
do
It'd be a
but
good show. It had to be a
I
show.
think
I
Street
think
Fighter
it-
would be cool.
I think something that could translate really well to like the environment today and stuff, and I don't know if anybody else ever even heard of it. I played it a lot growing up, is Siphon Filter.
I've never heard of that.
No, I never heard of it either.
It was on PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. Basically, there's some crazy virus that kills people going around, and there's like you're working for the government against other governments trying to stop a break and releases of like sarin gas and stuff, and the multiplayer was outstanding.
It sounds like Resident Evil.
No. There's not like monsters or anything. It's just like terrorists.
Huh.
I think that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be
especially
a
in
really
today's
good
day and
show.
age.
Yeah, that'd be a
Yeah.
really good
It'd
show.
be good for like as much as I dog remasters, like a new Siphon Filter would be amazing, because just the gameplay, even on the PlayStation 2, playing a PlayStation 1 game through it was outstanding. And I'm sure you'd go back now and play it, and you're like, man, this looks like crap, but it's like it was awesome.
Personally, I think Farming Simulator would be a
Oh
good
my
one.
gosh.
Lawn mowing simulator.
Yeah.
Honestly, my take would be the
What
evil.
about The Sims?
No, it would be the Evil Within. That's what I'd say. The reason for that is because we haven't really had a good like psych thriller ever since like with that style since Inception.
What about
And-
Outlast?
Oh gosh, that
Other
was
stuff like that, they're kind of just clinging to the threads of Saw and stuff mainstream right now. There's not really anything even not game related along those lines.
like I don't know, like I don't know about an Evil Within movie, maybe a show, but like I don't know, there hasn't been really good horror stuff lately. Like
Even if it's like
Among
a
Us
Dexter
would be
type
cool.
thing, you know?
oh my gosh, Junior,
Yeah.
that'd be like a
An
10.
Among Us movie would be cool.
That would be like
Just Among Us in
Junior,
real life.
they have an
Yeah.
Among Us movie. You know what it's called? The Thing.
Thing.
Steven, how about you? What do you want to see be turned into a movie?
Honestly, Halo, but good.
Yeah, and not have
A lore
Master.
accurate
Wait.
Master Chief.
Wait, actually,
Yeah.
hang on. Which Halo? Or Reach, maybe?
Any of them.
I want
Halo
ODST.
3 was my favorite.
ODST would be
was
cool.
pretty good.
I want to go cry.
It would be
in the
so
movie theater.
dark, though.
I just remember as a kid playing
know how
Halo
dark
3
that movie
at my
would be?
buddy's house. And we used to take our Xbox 360s on all of our baseball trips that we used to take, and we play Halo against each other, the multiplayer
Yeah,
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Always
you
had
guys,
fun with those.
you guys would play Halo whenever you were gone out of the room at the pool. I was playing Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Much to Mom and Dad's dismay.
All right, moving on. So, I guess video game ideas is our next topic that we're going to talk about.
Let's do something.
So, what are we trying to accomplish with this? Like, are we trying
Just-
to create our own video game, or just like
put out
games that we
game.
want to see coming out soon?
put an idea, like the idea of a video game that you've had and that you want to see.
NCAA football.
Like for me, I want to see like we haven't had a good Castlevania game ever since we were younger.
Oh, here we go.
Hey,
I can do
let
one
me
better,
cook.
Jax.
Let me cook. But
How many times we got to teach you this lesson? Old
we
man?
haven't had a good Castlevania game ever since we were younger, and they were so used to the 2D style, it got boring. But those games had multiple boss fights. You remember the Dracula boss fight? There were multiple phases to Dracula.
Yeah.
It translates very well to a Souls game. Like, don't get me wrong, Souls games are overdone to high. But if you put the world of Castlevania in there, like you put it in the setting of Wallachia, and then you give him any Castlevania, or you give him any of the Belmonts. Don't change the character or anything, but you can change what they wear, the weapons they use, so long, and they could use magic just like a Souls game. And it makes sense to put that stuff into that world. I mean, if you put a Castlevania game to that style, it'll sell really well, because you'll get Souls fans liking it, and then you also get the old fans of Castlevania games, and because you'll get the same exact experience that you got when you were younger.
Or even if you did it like an Arkham Knight, or not like a Gotham Knights type thing, where you can all play together in the same world or something, kind of at your own pace, doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Taking
I'd
out
like to
separate
honestly see
other
like a
monsters.
vampire hunting game, like Van Helsing. I think that'd be kind of
That's
cool
what I
to
was
make its
gonna
own
say.
like iteration of their own video game of a vampire hunter, or maybe even like a Blade video game would be so Like that would
Oh,
be something
yeah,
that I
baby.
would love to play.
I think like Van Helsing would be cool because you could stick with like the fantasy monsters type thing. There was like you got vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein type stuff. It's like all that old timey things like that, like Jack the Ripper type stuff. It's that whole
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
frame.
Like, my thing with it was, like, the bosses of the games were obviously going to be all vampires, because that's what the Belmonts do. They kill vampires. And, like, have the other, like, individuals, like, Steve, you know in Souls games, like, you have the really hulking, like, normal enemies. Have them be, like, a minotaur or something simple like that. Be, like, a werewolf. Something like the night creatures. Like, you've seen the anime, right? The Castlevania anime. Just like that, the night creatures of that, have them be like the basic enemies, just like regular Dark Souls. Have the vampires be
Even
the
if they
actual
bring
bosses.
back giant skeletons.
Yeah. But you can even bring in all the iconic bosses. Like, I know Rondo of Blood had Frankenstein, the Mummy. It had a ton of like traditional bosses that you could bring in for just like a regular boss fight in this game.
You know what I think would be really cool too if they remade them and like they've done with the Resident Evil games, the Metal Gear Solid games.
Oh my
True.
god, I love Metal
Like if
Gear
they
Solid.
remade those games, I think they'd be killers right now.
They are.
There's so many
They're
games from
remaking-
the back or just like back in
They're
the
remaking
day.
Snake Eater.
You know what games I really, really, really want them to remake, or at least like not remake, but maybe like kind of build on, like all the street games, NFL Street,
yeah.
NBA Street.
Ooh.
Those would be cool games to have on our consoles now.
What about Slugfest?
And
Oh, Slugfest
it's
would be
obvious.
awesome.
It'd be so easy to market because that's what everyone wants to see. Even if they bring back like the NHL hits or NFL Blitz type stuff, where it's
Yeah,
just
dude, I would
over the top
kill for games
craziness.
like that.
Blitz was insane. They were out of pocket with Blitz whenever whoever cooked that up.
League.
They were out
Oh,
of
yeah.
pocket.
Yeah.
You could put in a cheat before the game started, so you got like an extra 30 seconds after the whistle to just dogpile people.
Yeah. That was probably I think probably my favorite sports game growing up was either the NCAA series or the Blitz series. Those
It
were
was
good games.
NHL hits for me because it was hockey, which I love, and you could throw people through glass if you got in a fight. It was like a Mortal Kombat fighting game, like with finishers and everything.
Well, it was made by Midway, so Midway
Yep.
used to make the Mortal Kombat games, so
They
it
had
makes
the
sense.
same announcer. You got the NBA Jam guy, and we just need a resurgence of him.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah,
not
bring
only
that guy
that, but
back.
like NHL Hits also had like one of my favorite soundtracks ever, like the
Oh.
Limp Bizkit era.
Yeah, you could corn.
like,
Come on,
Yeah,
now.
that was awesome. I still think this new NCAA game that they think is coming out next year, that's probably the most excited I've been about a video game in a long time. Like this Spider-Man 2, I'm super excited for, but it's nothing in comparison to how excited I am for another NCAA football game.
How about the Maximum football game that's coming out?
I was gonna
I
say
haven't seen it.
it's out in beta on PC right now. They had one. They've been doing it since like 2019. Doug Flutie is actually one of the main figureheads of it, which is cool. But it's like, it's just something else. Like the market, it's literally just Madden. What other new football game are you going to go out and get right now?
True.
So we
Right.
have this. You can bring back customizing your own team, making players. You can change your field and your stadium and stuff like that. It's like that's what I miss from the old Madden games. Is I could remake a team, have some super team with every good player or whatever and stuff. And yeah, you can do that with turning off like salary cap and stuff on franchise, but you can make your own team and do your own thing. It just
Yeah.
gives you that free flow creation.
Well, like games like that, it just makes me think of my childhood. Jackson and I used to stay up late to watch our dad play NCAA football.
Oh no, he didn't
would
play.
sneak in.
He didn't play NCAA football. He played MVP baseball.
Well, no, he played football too. He
I didn't
played
see him
football
play
too.
that, but I remember
Um,
baseball.
Yeah, when we were little kids, he'd tell us to go to bed. We'd go to bed before school, and then about 10:30, 11 o'clock, he'd sneak into our room because we had the video game console in our room. So he would sneak into our room and turn that thing on, and as soon as you heard the PlayStation, the PlayStation 2 sound go on, like
Oh.
Jackson and I would immediately get up and We'd start crawling to the edge of the bed and put the pillow at the end of the bed
Well,
and
eventually,
quietly sit there and watch him.
eventually he
Eventually
caught
got
on
to the
that-
point where he didn't even,
No,
he
he
didn't
knew
even care.
he knew
but-
we were awake, and he was like, "All right, come over here." And we sat by him and actually watched.
Yeah, like we would sit there till about midnight, 12:30 at night, watching him play video games. And so, I mean, that's where I got my video game passion from. Our dad used to play video games all the time when I was a kid. Even growing up, he would let me play with him. So
Oh yeah, that's where I got my love
Me
for
too.
Castlevania. Because
I watched my dad dismantle people on Fight Night.
give him a 3-piece combo with a side of fries.
Dude, yeah, my dad was a monster on the old Star Wars Battlefront too.
Your dad always
Big Steve.
kills me.
Dude, Big Steve slayed people.
All right, Steve, what is your video
He
game
knew all
idea?
he knew all the tricks. Ooh. All right, hear me out. It's a food fight game. You ever had a food fight in school?
Go on.
Ooh.
It's a-
this sounds like a Fall Guys kind of.
no,
game.
it sounds like Rubber Bandits to me.
Or Gang Beasts.
Just a
Oh yeah,
just
Gang Beasts.
yeah, just some straight debauchery to be had. You just literally food fight,
That could literally be the name of it.
and
Just
all the food
fight.
has
It reminds
all
me
the
of
food has its own theme. Like the peas are just like shotguns.
You guys remember
Wait,
Division
like the
3, that
corn on the
football
cob
movie?
is like a
Honestly, Steve, why wouldn't the peas be like an assault rifle? Just
A carrot
That's
is an
what the corn
RPG
is
for
for.
sure.
that's what the corn's for. Why wouldn't the corn be a grenade?
We're gonna settle this thing with an old
'cause
fashioned.
that's what the yogurt comes for.
What is the yogurt for?
What about the carton of milk?
Y'all never
got
fought with
options
food
here.
before? Bobby, let's get that out of here.
The carton of milk is obviously the healing stuff. Because Lord knows, if you could handle drinking school milk, you could handle anything.
School milk is good. I don't know what you're talking about.
You never had
You mean
it.
that
Yeah,
negative
honestly.
percent with the flavoring sticking to the bottom of the
Negative
carton?
percent.
Mm,
We have school milk where I'm teaching, and I love it.
Well, yeah, you guys actually get real milk,
I think
and
the school chalky milk.
when we were in
Oh,
school, it
school
was
chocolate
terrible.
milk.
How's Steve? You remember that, the school milk?
Yeah, I liked it.
You liked it,
Yeah, I drank it as often as I could.
dude. It was
I
like
drank the red milk because the chocolate was so bad, and that red milk was just water.
once a
Really,
week.
you didn't like the chalky milk?
I
It
once
was
a
terrible. And
once a week I
always
got one that
forget
was
to shake it,
spoiled.
So I drink the whole thing, and then the last drink, I'm choking on chocolate cocoa powder.
But for me, it was like once a week I got a
unless
really
like the
bad
milk
one.
became physically solid. Unless the milk was like physically solid, then I wouldn't drink it. But like, other than that, it was pretty good.
But
There
see,
were some questionable ones.
this is coming from you. You
Yeah,
drink
every
chocolate
so
milk
often.
every night. Like you were literally 57 minutes away from having your chocolate milk.
Yeah, it's almost chalky milk time.
Oh. Did I just one memory that I have from high school? I think Gary, were you there when we were throwing the chocolate
Oh,
milk cartons off
gosh.
the wall in high school?
Definitely not.
So it was
I wasn't
me
there
and one of
for
our
any
other.
of the throwing things off of things.
Oh, when I was a senior, I didn't have a first hour, and so I would show up to school about 20 minutes before breakfast, and then my second hour would start like right after breakfast. And so one of our buddies in high school, we would take the juice cartons and the milk cartons and throw them across the gym floor. Well, we got this crazy idea to throw it up against the wall to see how far we can get it up there. And I threw a chocolate milk and exploded it all over some of the state championship banners that were up there. let's just say that I got into a little bit of trouble with that one.
All right, that we're gonna use that transition into our last topic: console wars. What console is the best console? I mean,
If we're talking
we have a load
pure,
of consoles
like-
here. Like I have PC, PlayStation. You have PlayStation. Gary has Xbox experience, PlayStation. Steven even has a Switch experience.
like we're talking like
I use that bad boy.
console wars as in like current consoles, or are we talking like the greatest consoles ever?
It's just like current. Like which one's what console right now is the best?
I don't know. The PS5 and the Xbox are very similar. I have friends who have both, literally who have both, and can't really tell me which ones are better. I mean, if we're talking strictly the ability to run games and stuff, I'd say probably the PC is probably the best.
Yeah.
I think the video game selection's definitely better on the actual consoles itself, like PlayStation and Xbox, but I do think that, well, because, like, games that I play specifically, like, playing them on other things just don't really work out very well.
Yeah.
The servers usually aren't very good. They don't spend a lot of time on them, so I technically would prefer my PS5 probably over any other console. I've had a lot of fun playing with this thing for the last 2.5 years. 2 years? I think I've had it for 2 years now.
You know, just
So.
because it's what I've had and it's what's primary right now and everyone's mostly playing on, I'd have to say PS5, but obviously each console, every platform is going to have their own exclusives. Like, you got Spider-Man on Sony for now. Basically everything Bethesda is going to be running through Xbox for the foreseeable future, which,
Don't remind
yeah,
me.
it sucks being, like, I love Skyrim. It's probably the greatest game of all time in my personal opinion, and I've played it on Xbox and PlayStation, and you just don't get that anymore, and some people aren't going to have maybe the financial freedom to have each and every console, you know, like, and they'll have personal stuff. I'll probably never have a PC because I'm just some old boomer. I'm not trying to figure that out. I got what I have. I know what I know, and that's what I'm sticking with. But as long as a group we're mostly playing on PS5, I'll be on PS5. I'd play on a piece of cardboard if that's what we were all doing. It's like, that's all I'm here for. I don't play single player campaign games. I'll play a racing game every once in a while, but it's like, it's not about me, you know?
Yeah. Personally, I think, like, hands down, game selection is definitely PC. PC has the widest variety. I mean, and it's also cheapest. Like, it's every other day I see a sale on Steam whenever I'm on my computer, which is a lot nowadays, especially since I've been doing YouTube and stuff like that. But I've been on that constantly. But at the same time, I have games on my PS5. Like, I couldn't imagine playing The Walking Dead on a computer. It'd be weird. It'd feel weird having to do everything with a mouse. And then on top of that, PlayStation has exclusives, so I, like, where am I going to play Spider-Man? But at the same time, they are releasing their exclusives onto the PC. Like, if you didn't see the mods for Spider-Man, like, Kermit the Frog is Spider-Man.
And everything they did to God of War.
Beautiful.
I don't even remember. Oh, I did see the Rick and Morty conversion.
I knew there was Homer Simpson at one point, but beyond that.
But
I mean, so many games are cross-platform at this point. It doesn't really matter that much. It just comes down to what controller you want to hold.
Yeah. I will say that I do like the feel of these new PS5 controllers. For whatever reason, it
Did you
just
buy
makes
a
me
gray
feel like
one?
the old Xbox 360. It's a camo one. Yeah.
Oh, you have the.
They feel like the old Xbox 360. It's like I have an Xbox controller that I use for my PC whenever I do play on it. It's not very often, but I mean they're very similar controllers. I just like the way the new PS5
feel.
controllers feel.
You can actually wrap a full-grown hand around it. Like, if we tried to go back and use a PlayStation 2 controller, that thing would be puny.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels better. There's
Actually,
more
think I
weight
have
to
one
it.
right
It just seems sturdier.
Sturdy.
now. I don't have my PS2
The PS4 controllers, I don't have a lot of great experience with them.
because you broke them.
Because I remember playing Warzone during the COVID time. And I probably went through like 4 or 5 PlayStation 4 controllers from that game.
I mean,
The only problem
PS5, I've only
had
broken
was
one
one
PS5 controller.
I broke a chair.
You all witnessed the destruction of my one and only PlayStation 4 controller.
Junior, were you there for that?
That was the funniest.
I don't think so.
So we were playing For Honor, and Gary kept getting tag teamed by 2 people every single time. And Gary got fed up with it enough to where I just hear him go, and then you just hear like wind because it sounded like he threw it.
Oh, And
I thought he threw it out his window.
my wife definitely was there one night. I was playing Warzone, and it was like the 4th or 5th consecutive game where I got killed, like right off of the plane, just dropped down and got killed right away. So I had enough of it, and we had a wooden floor in our apartment in Gunnison, and we were in a small 1-bedroom apartment at the time. And so I know for sure our neighbors and their neighbors probably heard it. But I screamed the F word so loud and slammed that controller, and it broke into probably like 50 different pieces. It was just all over my floor. It's definitely the most frustrated I've ever been playing a video game was Modern Warfare, the original Warzone. But I mean, I had so much fun playing it, and I don't know. It's just the consoles just seem to keep getting better and better every time they come out. The graphics get better, the speed of which games get better. So I mean, like we said, there's not really like one console that really sticks out the most to me. Just like Gary said, it's just whatever the boys are playing is probably the console that I'm gonna choose. So,
How about you, Steve?
Honestly, it's whichever one allows for
I thought you were about
multiplayer the best.
I thought you were about to say your Switch because it has Tears of the Kingdom.
I haven't beat that game, honestly.
Really?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I was all into it, and then
I want to switch.
I mean, honestly, that's probably like one of the bigger ones right now because of how it's portable.
I've
Yeah,
heard a
and
lot of good things about the Switch. So
It's a lot easier for kids and stuff like that, and you're passing the torch on to the next generation of gamers,
Oh yeah, like when we were growing up, we had the Game Boy, and then the DS, and then the 3DS,
Oh, man.
and then what was it, like the second version of the 3DS?
That's
You
the
know
one
what-
thing
what I
I
think-
missed is the fall of the handheld. Because even with like the backbone and stuff today, nothing's ever going to compete with like the original PSP.
Well, and then on top of that,
or the DS.
they haven't
Remember
improved.
the DS?
My
Oh
goodness.
my goodness.
Like PlayStation's releasing something that's a handheld, but it's just for like
You still have to have a console.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, what the point?
the PSP was way ahead of its time. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The,
I love
just
that.
the way that the PSP could do things that no other console could really do back in the day.
Oh yeah,
You
Just
could
the
search on
mobility
the
of it.
internet. You could do all kinds of crazy things on the PSP. I would really like to see them bring something like that back.
like I remember we used to have Castlevania on there, like the remaster of Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night, and that was like probably one of my favorite times. It's just on our trips going up to Denver for your baseball. It's trying to beat Castlevania, getting my ass whooped every single fucking time by the stupid skeleton.
Yeah, Jackson, I will never forgive you for losing my favorite game on the Game Boy.
I'm sorry, I was
Still
6.
to this day.
I was 6.
When we were little kids, we had some kind of, it wasn't me, I think it was Alyssa that had some kind of practice at one of the elementary schools here in Lamar, and Jackson took my backyard baseball Game Boy game with him and put it into it, and he lost it.
Oh man, lost
So I
Pablo.
was so mad because it was such a good game.
I was 6.
Like, what would you eat it?
I don't know. I don't remember it. Like, I remember getting yelled at for it, but I don't remember losing it.
As you should have been.
I remember the Looney Tunes the game that we used to have
that
on the
one
Game
was
Boy.
fun. That one was good too.
I never
There
understood.
were a lot of good games.
I never understood anything that was going on that thing. I just was playing it and having fun.
You know what other one of those
No
Game Boy
object
games was one of my
permanence yet.
favorites?
What?
It was the SpongeBob game that we used to have
Which
on the
one?
Game Boy.
Oh man, that was.
I can't remember
the
which
best.
one it was.
All those
but there was
SpongeBob
a-
games are good.
There was a SpongeBob game on the Game Boy Advance that we used to play a lot, and I loved that one too.
You know what game went hard?
Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
Yeah.
but no, the
On the
PS.
PlayStation 2.
I say that one, the
Oh.
one where they go back in time with all the rope. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Game Boy Ninja Turtles was what's up.
I did not play that one, but Danny Phantom, the one from
Oh, yeah,
the one where he meets Evil Danny, that went hard.
Video games just seem to to really bring people together, and I enjoy it. I know my wife's not a big video game person, doesn't really like video games. I know a lot of my friends have kind of outgrown them, but I just think it's a nice way to relax at home and to let off some steam. Unless you're playing like Warzone or something like that, then it gets worse. But like
And
it's
even
just
if you get
it's
frustrated, it's good catharsis. You get it out.
Yeah.
You have somewhere to vent, take that frustration or whatever else out, and you just get out of your own head for a while.
Well,
I
then,
definitely think it's a
I
healthy
can either
outlet.
get angry
like
here.
well, on top of that, it's
Yeah.
also like, I don't know. It's like watching a movie or a TV show. I mean, like, think about Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima it was one of the only games that has actually made me cry, because
Just those big story-based
Downright-
worlds.
Downright beautiful.
and same with Red Dead Redemption 2. That was actually one of the only games that made me cry, and because it was so good and it was fun.
Also, downright beautiful.
Downright beautiful.
Downright beautiful.
Be rooting, be tooting. By God, be shooting.
By God,
By God, be shooting. But most of all, be kind.
Well, is that gonna do it for us today?
All right. As our last little thing, I say
Shout out
let's...
to our sponsor.
No, I
No
wish.
sponsor, Steve. We've had this conversation.
I
already.
wish
There's
we
no
did,
way the
but-
McRib is gonna sponsor us.
Dude, not with that attitude.
McRib is awful.
As our last little thing,
It's
I
back.
say
Did you know that? It's out
Yes,
right
it's
now.
such
Really?
a terrible sandwich.
If you keep dogging it, we're never going to
So
get
good.
a sponsorship.
Yeah, come on, Juju. I'm
Sorry,
trying to get us some.
McRib is
You don't have to
amazing.
like it. You just have to like the money they give.
This meat
Sponsor us,
amalgamation.
But all right, as our last little thing, I say we all give a video game recommendation for whoever's watching. If you're watching this and you want to play a new game, I think all of us can give at least somewhat of a good one. I know Junior can give something with sports, and then the
Not
rest
really.
of us.
2K sucks. Madden sucks. MLB The Shows kind of suck this year.
But we can
I
all
don't really have anything.
we can all
Nothing's good.
Nothing's
Don't play
good.
video games.
we all
Touch
have
some
like
grass.
no, but we all have
No,
like
if we're
what
being
over 20
honest,
years
like-
worth of games, so we could easily
Go outside.
find something new for
I'm
you.
gonna recommend the Spider-Man game. Just from what I've seen from all the critics that have already played the game, it's definitely worth the buy. So
We haven't heard much recently. I know it's probably coming soon. We had the beta before, but I got to recommend X Defiant because it was just something
That
fresh, bringing
game
to the
was good.
first-person shooter genre, and it's kind of fallen off now. But we just got to keep our hopes up. And even in the beta, it was fun. It was great. It took me back
yeah,
to
we
the
had
old
some fun with
Modern
that.
Warfare 2 lobbies and stuff like that. Black Ops 2, going way back in the day.
hmm Personally, I'd recommend Sonic Frontiers. That game has an amazing soundtrack, and if you're like me, growing up with terrible Sonic games, as Steven mentioned, but if you played that one, it's phenomenal. And the music, they usually, like in Sonic games, you think of just arcadey music and everything. No, they brought out an
Absolute trash.
They brought out an 8-string guitar for this one, and actual like screaming music that is beautiful. It's really fun, and like the energy's high. And I really couldn't remember the story, but my God, was it fun?
Fever Dream.
Yeah, pretty much. But they had Calvin Quinn, so I mean,
Ugh,
I know you don't like Calvin Quinn.
get out of here.
How about you, Steve? What game do you recommend?
Ooh, let's see. You know what I liked? I liked Sifu,
Ooh, that
that
was
martial arts game. That game was good.
yeah.
It was hard, but like once you figure it out, it's actually
They made it more
it's
difficult.
enjoyable.
By
They
the
did
way.
make it more difficult,
Mhm.
and
It was
you know
brand
what?
new update.
It kind of hurts, but it is fun. I like it.
All right. So with that, I think
Steve
we're...
would also highly recommend Jump Force.
Oh God.
If you're terminally ill, I'm on the way out the door. Yeah, go ahead, play Jump Force.
All right. So with that, I think we're gonna end off our podcast here. Thank you for whoever's watching. I believe there will be 2 versions of this uploaded. One that's edited to get all the cursing and everything out, and then the one that's unedited. I will be posting the one that's unedited. I think
I'll most likely be posting the one that's edited somewhere, whether it's on a streaming platform like YouTube or something like
Facebook.
that, or no, definitely not Facebook. This is not going where my kids can see.
It's going on the gram.
We'll definitely post it somewhere. Just be on the lookout for that. We'll post all those links and stuff to our socials.
Above all our
But,
squares, I'm gonna put our socials, except for Steven, because Steven doesn't want his socials up. So that's fine. I'll put Gary's TikTok and my socials up above my name, or above my camera and above Junior's camera and everything. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks with the next one.
Keep being
Just listen.
nerds.